Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode
Oh,
of the Box Office Dynasty podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Jack.
I'm Josh.
And we have, of course, we say this every week, and we're right every week, right, Josh? When we say we have another great episode for you today.
Every week
Um,
is better than the last, in my opinion.
every week is better than the last, and it's better than the next one because every week is the best week when we're here. Every week, no matter what episode you're watching, is the best episode.
Yes,
Think about that for a
except
second.
probably the first one.
Yeah, you're right.
Except
But you're
probably that first one is not the best one. If you're listening to the first one, that's not the best one.
our most popular one, also.
No, not anymore.
Oh, it got topped?
Yeah, right here. I'll pull it up real quick. Fuck it. It's our podcast. We do whatever. Fuck
I
it.
do what the fuck we want.
You
We
know
do what
what?
we
We have
want.
we have an agenda, but fuck it. Throw it all out the trash. Just do whatever. Yeah, no, the top one right now is How to Train Your Nuanced Space Dragon.
Because dude, it's the most goated title. That's my
I
favorite title of all time. Still,
I think so too. Yeah, it's funny. It's like what's that about? Like if you don't know what's going on, and then it also like it works with what we talked about in
also
the
space
show.
dragons are fucking cool.
Dude, yeah, and a nuanced one. Like imagine if a space dragon was nuanced. Like
Imagine
there's
that.
so much going on there. Holy shit.
You know, it's funny. Speaking of space dragons, this week we're talking about Fantastic Four. There's a line where they throw out, "What is it? A space dragon?"
Yep.
We're gonna talk some Fantastic Four, give our ratings, give reviews, non spoilers, then get into spoilers for a bunch. Of course, the box office numbers are gonna come before that. You are going to give your reviews for some movies, Eddington and Happy Gilmore 2. I haven't seen either of them, so Josh is gonna run through those, and then we're gonna talk a little bit about some news, some things in the news regarding this industry and the Emmy nominations, and react to those and discuss those for a little bit. So we got a interesting time ahead of us right now, Josh.
Yeah, we're really making up for the last 2 weeks here because obviously we were off a week off. Jack here was on vacation. How was that?
It was good, dude. I went to New Hampshire. I don't know if you
Yeah.
guys know about Old Hampshire, but it's the newer version of that.
Yo, they came out
And
with a new
they came out with a
Hampshire.
sequel. They came out with a
Fuck
sequel
yeah,
for sure,
dude.
dude.
You know what? There's always sequels and remakes, though. You know
I
what? It's
know.
just I feel like New Hampshire actually is a cash grab.
This is a dying industry.
What the fuck?
Um,
They can't come up with any creative new states anymore. It's just rehashes of old ones.
we went out on the boat, at the lake house. It was nice. I was there for a couple days. It was sad leaving the podcast for a week, but I'm glad we're back.
Yeah, hell yeah. I've been looking forward to this. Obviously, we were sad that we missed out. And people even reached out to me and when Wednesday came along and there was no new box office dynasty and I got some text messages where it was like, "What the hell?" And I'm
We
like, "I'm
love our
sorry.
fans.
I get it.
We're sorry
We
to
do. We
disappoint.
we love our fans, but we're back and we're going to get all of the last few weeks to all of you now, as you can tell. But first, speaking of things that happened in the last few weeks, Ozzy Osbourne, aka the Prince of Darkness, passed away at the age of 76. Shout out Brandon. And it's crazy. And I wanted to shout him out a little bit, because this guy was a real pioneer for metal as a genre of music. And he founded Black Sabbath in 1968, leads them through the rise of heavy metal in the 70s, continues on his own equally successful solo career, where in his career, he sold more than 100 million albums. 7 of those are multi-platinum from his solo career alone. Twice inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2006 with Black Sabbath, and last year in 2024 as a solo artist. He's a Grammy winner, and like I said, a true rock and metal icon. My dad showed me a really cool video, actually, because Ozzy Osbourne spoke about how when he was young, he was really inspired by the Beatles, actually, which is funny because they're such a different, I mean, they're both rock, but it's such a different kind of rock.
Yeah,
But
comparing
he
them.
was really inspired by the Beatles, and I saw a video of Ozzy Osbourne meeting Paul McCartney, and he's all like shy and like kind of just like timid and like you could tell like he's in the presence of like I guess one of his heroes or something. And Paul's like, no, come on in. Like, you're Ozzy Osbourne too. And it's just like crazy to me because I'm like, those are two legends, not just one. But like, it just goes to show how music evolves like that. And Ozzy was a big part of that. And like, this guy had controversies in his life. A lot of celebrities do. That's what kind of keeps me like distanced from celebrity culture as like being a fan of that, because it's like
they're all kind of lunatics.
Yeah, in their own way. I mean, this guy like bit the head off doves and like a bat.
I heard something also. I don't know if this is true. Shouldn't even say it if it's kind of fucked up.
Well, what?
I don't want to like tarnish his memory. I heard that he
you can't like tease it now. You got to bring it up.
I just saw something recently today. I don't know if it's true. I can't remember, but like he took a shotgun and like fucking murdered all of his 17 of his cats.
Oh, I heard something about that too. I don't know if he did that because like the thing is, I also saw that he did love animals, and like especially throughout his later years, he had a ton of animals all around him. But like, I don't. If that is true, yeah, like that. I mean, I have a cat. I love Leo. It is crazy. So like, look, I'm not saying that he was like the greatest guy or like anything like that, but all of that stuff aside, like you can't deny that he was a true icon. And I mean, also I don't want to say in his defense, but like
the cats were provoking him.
Yeah, dude, they said a slur.
The cats had a weapon on him.
He struggled a lot with alcoholism and addiction.
Yeah, mental illness for sure.
Yeah, so like, it's not an excuse. It's just
it's an explanation.
Yes, exactly. Context is always relevant. And all of that aside, that doesn't take away from the musical genius he was. And this is a podcast, yes, about film and television, but about culture and what's relevant. And Ozzy Osbourne's going to be missed. So, and like one of our close friends, Crosby, that's a big, definitely a big icon of his. And you can tell in the way he's outwardly expressed his love and appreciation for Ozzy's music and the influence it's had on him as a person and his music. Like, and that's someone who's very close to you and I. And to see that relevance, like that's how someone, like I like Ozzy. I listen to his music. I listen to a lot of Black Sabbath more than his solo stuff. But I wouldn't say I'm nearly as big of a fan as other people, and yet I can see and appreciate the kind of influence that he has had on the culture, and so he's going to be missed. Yeah, that's what all right. I got.
Well,
yeah,
R.I.P.
So that's R.I.P. Ozzy Osbourne.
What do you got for us next? Because I think you got some fucking math for us here because you're a nerd.
Dude, shut up.
You're a nerd, dude. Every week you come into this podcast with your numbers and your money, and you're a fucking nerd.
I you know what? It's interesting. I'm a nerd, but I fuck with it. So anyway, I'm gonna start with the box office numbers I was getting a phone call and I'm reading these off my phone, so it was distracting me. I had to decline it.
I was calling.
These are the box. What?
I butt-dialed you.
Oh, shit. Well, you can do that again. Okay. These are the box office numbers for the weekend of July 25th to the 27th. In fifth place, in its second weekend of release, with $5.4 million, is a film we haven't mentioned yet on this podcast, Smurfs, the one starring Rihanna.
I forgot that came out.
Yep. I did too. So that was in its second weekend of release. I don't know what it did in its opening weekend, obviously. I'm a little curious, actually. I'm going to check just for shits and giggles. It opened to about a little over $11 million domestically in its opening weekend. In fourth place is F1 the movie in its fifth weekend of release, $6.2 million. So this movie is doing very well, Jack. This movie is one of the top original grossing movies of the decade. It's a huge success for Apple, and I would not be surprised if they start talking about a sequel.
Oh, I don't know how I'd feel about that.
It's already at over $500 million. It's at over $500 million. So
as much as I loved it, I say leave it alone.
I'm indifferent at this point, but I would lean towards leave it alone. But if they can get a really good story for it, I'm open to it.
Yeah.
In third place, in its fourth weekend of release, making a clean $13 million, a film you enjoyed, Jurassic World Rebirth.
Hell yeah, it did.
Where is that at worldwide? It is at 718 million worldwide right now. So it could
Okay.
hit the billion mark.
What week is it in?
Right now, in the United States at least, it's in its fourth weekend. It's probably
It could hit a billion.
It's scattered worldwide though, so it could. In second place in its third weekend of release with another $24.8 million, this is a 57.5% drop from its second weekend, is Superman. Superman's worldwide total is also at the $500 million point, $500 million. I'm not sure that this one's going to get there. I don't think Superman has the legs that Jurassic World as a franchise does.
Yeah,
but
I think
it
you're
is
right.
in a good spot. This is a huge win for DC, and it sets up the rest of this universe very well. And in first place, in its opening weekend of release, making $118 million domestically, is The Fantastic Four: First Steps. So this movie is in a very good spot, and I do want to talk a little bit about the comparisons between Superman and Fantastic Four's opening weekend, because I think a lot of people were expecting Superman to be the bigger deal, and it was
I was.
it was a bit closer than I think people were projecting. Superman's opening domestic weekend was $125 million to Fantastic Four's $118. That is definitely a lot closer. I mean, obviously they were always expecting Superman to have the bigger opening weekend, but it's a lot closer than I think Marvel was originally anticipating. $7 million difference. Worldwide, Superman opened to $220 million. Fantastic Four opened to $218 million. However, here's the catch. Fantastic Four had a bigger opening weekend internationally than Superman did. And Fantastic Four made $100 million internationally. Superman made 95 in their opening weekends, respectively.
Yeah. We did kind of talk about how Superman is kind of seen as an American symbol, probably in other countries, for the way he's been portrayed in the recent years. Even though this movie doesn't do it, I think that could be a reason.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And both in terms of ratings came very similar, critically and with audiences. And so I would say, considering that Superman had higher projections, it really is a win for both. Like, I know we're putting them neck and neck, but in the end, what this all means is that it's just a win for both movies. And this is a huge year for superhero films, especially coming off the heels of the last couple years that have been really down for the genre and for the studios that are responsible for them. So definitely, like, when you say why should people care about the money, this is what people should care about, this because it's what gets more made. It's what we get more in the DCU. It's what we're going to get to see these Fantastic Four characters again. So this success is important if you're a fan for those reasons, so we can see them again and get more content and get more great stuff. And so that's great. I'm happy to see it. And before we get into Fantastic Four, Jack, while we're talking numbers,
Sure.
we have been tracking this $1 billion mark for many weeks now.
Oh.
And we have finally got our first, and I'm going to put a little asterisk here, Hollywood $1 billion movie of the year. As Lilo and Stitch, while we were on our hiatus, finally crossed the $1 billion point.
Wow.
And is the first Hollywood movie this year. Yep.
I'm very surprised that it wasn't a Minecraft movie.
Well, and you know what's funny about that, actually? A Minecraft movie still has a higher domestic earning than Lilo and Stitch. Minecraft has made just under $424 million in the United States. Lilo and Stitch made 420. I think Lilo and Stitch was able to beat out Minecraft because it had stronger legs around the world because of its brand.
Which is interesting because Minecraft's not even an American game.
No, I mean, you're so right.
Is it Swedish or Norwegian or something?
Yeah, it's a Scandinavian game, but Lilo and Stitch is part of the larger Disney umbrella that is really
Right.
a global enterprise.
Disney has that reach.
Yeah. So truthfully, the fact that their domestic was the fact that Minecraft actually beat Lilo and Stitch domestically is a little surprising to me.
It is surprising.
Because I feel like Lilo and Stitch has had a longer theatrical run, and Minecraft I feel like just didn't have the stronger, impact even in its opening week. So I don't know. But Lilo and Stitch, it's like, and I did put the asterisk because there is technically, I forgot about this, a movie that has made over like $2 billion or some fucking shit, which is the Ninja 2.
Oh, Neja too.
So that was the first 2020, and I thought that came out last year. I forgot that was 2025. I thought that came out in 24. So
Yeah,
that was
right.
actually the first one. But Lilo and Stitch is the first Hollywood movie to do it. We'll see if any of these movies come out right now are the second. I think Jurassic World.
I think so too. I mean, yeah, it's got to be the next one.
Yeah.
If it even hits, I don't know.
If it hits, I think it would be the next one because I don't think Fantastic Four or Superman are going to make $1 billion.
You want to get into Fantastic Four?
I do want to get into Fantastic Four.
Okay, you want to go first or I go first?
You should go first.
Okay. Non-spoilers. Here are our reviews and ratings of Fantastic Four First Steps. I give it 9 sexy space aliens out of 10.
I would give it a nice 8 Herbies out of 10.
Love me some Herbie.
Dude, Herbie is the GOAT. That's where I want to start. Herbie is probably my favorite character, maybe of all time. Fucking
Of all
GOAT.
time is crazy.
Love that guy. Not maybe not all time, but
An 8.
That's hyperbole. It's
Are you-
an 8.
Are
It's,
you
it's an
surprised
8.
that I hit a 9?
I'm a little. No, you love these characters. I'm surprised you put it above Superman, though.
I did think this movie was just a hair better than Superman.
That I definitely disagree with.
Just
I
a
can
hair.
understand the 9. I definitely do not think it's better than Superman, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
Well, okay. I guess I'll start with the cast because this is non-spoilers. We'll get into spoilers in a little bit. I probably very shortly. The cast, that was a big point of contention when that was announced. Pedro
Sure.
Pascal, Joseph Quinn. I think those were the two that people were kind of off about. I didn't love Pedro's casting. I thought he was phenomenal in this movie. The way his voice was changed, so you can tell he's like he is this smart, arrogant asshole. That he has such a great monologue in this to Vanessa Kirby that we'll talk about later.
You know what I just want to say about Pedro Pascal?
What?
People always are like, he's everywhere, and they complain about the fact that there's like no movie stars, and then we get this guy who's a movie star and he's in all these cool movies, and people complain about that. They don't like it, because they're like, why is he cast and everything? I don't think he's just Pedro Pascal and everything he does. I actually think this guy's a very good actor with a lot of range, and I'm happy to see him get a lot of work.
Is he bad in anything I've seen him in? No.
But it's not even, is he good? First of all, no. But second of all, it's not even just that he's bad or good or whatever. Like I said, he has range, dude. Like he actually, you telling me that Reed Richards in Fantastic Four and the character that he plays in Materialists and Joel in The Last of Us are anything related to one another, really,
Well,
in terms of his, no, in terms of his acting.
Materialist and Fantastic Four, both their legs stretch. You know what I'm saying?
That's so true. All right, there is one similarity.
What? So, but you know what I'm saying with the way he changed his voice, right? Could you tell?
Yes, I could.
The people I was with were like, "No, we don't tell. This just sounds like him." Bro, what?
I mean, it sounds like him. It's not.
But you
like,
can tell he's doing something different.
Yes, a different inflection with his voice. Is the way I would put it.
That's the perfect way to use that. And I thought that was great for the character because we've never seen that before.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
thought
it
he was
works
great.
because also, and obviously, we're talking more acting, and we're gonna get into this, but like because of the time period that this takes place in,
It's even better.
That kind of voice, that kind of pronunciation is accurate and it's fitting and it works with his character.
I loved Pedro. I loved Vanessa Kirby. She was the best for me. Ebon Moss-Backrack, amazing. I'm not fully convinced on Joseph Quinn. I don't know how you feel about the rest of the cast, but I'm just telling you right now, I'm not fully convinced on Joseph Quinn as the Human Torch.
Oh, I am. And see, that's not even one of my complaints about this movie. I thought all four of the leads were great. I thought that extended beyond that, though. I really enjoyed Julia Garner's Silver Surfer, and I know that that was a big point of contention on this
Yeah.
show with people in the comments and online.
Mm-hmm.
But
People
I
were
don't want
pissed.
to hear that anymore because she proved it wrong. Any doubts that people would want to lay, she was great. Some of those scenes were the best scenes in the whole movie. I really enjoyed Ralph Ineson's Galactus. I thought, like, he really, like,
So
obviously
good.
they use effects to make Galactus intimidating, but there is that effort, that performance he brings, that intimidation that adds to it. It's not just what they're doing behind the scenes. So, like, I really enjoyed this. The only one that was like, and it's not her fault. Actually, I'm gonna get back to that.
Save it for spoilers.
I'm gonna put a pin in it. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean Ralph Ineson, like his voice is so grand, and the
yeah,
gravitas.
yep.
Man, you could
That's a
not have
great
picked a
word.
better person for Galactus.
I agree.
You really could not have. Is this the best looking Marvel movie or MCU movie?
No.
Okay, what would you put above this?
I think Infinity War is still better shot.
Yeah,
I think this is the most distinct visuals in the MCU, but I don't think
okay.
it's the best.
Because I
There
didn't
were
really
a
have any
couple.
CGI problems in
There were
this.
a couple of weird CGI moments, but not many.
Yeah, like
Not
I
many.
saw like one or two. Like that's yeah, because Infinity War has Thanos, and you can't get better than that in the MCU.
I would say him. I mean, yeah.
He looks so good.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Infinity War on both a visual and narrative front is still the magnum opus of this studio, so I would say that's probably the best looking one.
And
And
I think
even Winter Soldier looks really great too.
I think in terms of like, I guess the cinematography or whatever.
Oh,
Like I think like Eternals
Eternals looks great,
is
and also
as bad as that movie is, it looks fantastic.
Black Panther looks beautiful. Black Panther's another one
It
that's
does,
a
but
beautiful movie.
that also has some of the worst CGI I've ever seen in the end fight scene. But the rest of the movie, like Wakanda, looks amazing.
Yeah, like I don't know. I mean, but Fantastic Four I do think has the most distinct visual style in the MCU.
Yeah, the 1960s futuristic vibe is such a unique idea.
It's that retro futuristic vibe is so cool, and this movie really like riffed off of it. It very much was inspired by Interstellar, first of all, with a lot of its visuals, especially with the scenes around like the black hole and things like that when they're up
So
in
cool.
space. But also it brings like a lot of like a Jetsons vibe to it. You know, the old show, the Jetsons.
Oh yeah, the flying
Like
cars.
Yeah, yeah. It brings quite a Jetsons kind of tone to an interstellar experience. And I thought that was just such a cool approach to the Fantastic Four.
was
I
awesome.
think that really was one of the highlights of this movie for me was how that was how they kind of blended that retrofuturism with this space epic at times, while portraying a really cool family dynamic, and a lot of that really blended well for me.
I think as Marvel fans, we're doing good. I think this is a fine time to be a Marvel fan. Last year, 2 years ago, everyone, it was a shit show to be a Marvel fan. But, this year we got, of course, Brave New World wasn't great, but we got Daredevil season 1 of Born Again. We got Thunderbolts. Now we got Fantastic Four. The next movie is Spider-Man Brand New Day. Like, I think we're doing pretty well.
Which is in a whole year.
Yeah.
We have 1 year. I'm sure we'll get like Wonder Man, and we'll get like a few other things in between. We'll get
like
season
X-Men
two,
97.
season two of
2.
Daredevil, Born Again. But in terms of a Marvel movie, it's going to be one whole year, which I don't mind because for once, instead of them just shoving things out so constantly, like it's like, okay, now we have time to really sit with this before another entry into this universe is thrown at our faces.
Yeah.
It does. I get less excited for Doomsday as we get closer, not more. for a lot of reasons that I still don't want to really get into until I talk about my criticisms of this movie.
Okay.
But so that's one thing about the movie, the next movie not being until a year from now, that I'm a little worried about. But I do like the quality over quantity approach.
Yeah, that's the way they should have been handling it for a while. Is there anything else that you can mention in the non-spoiler territory?
Um, yeah, no, I think that's about it. I mean, it looked great. The acting was great. Um, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
And I think I got most of my non-spoiler points across.
I think I could say there's of course if you've seen the trailers, there's a sequence in space. That is that might be the best sequence in recent years of Marvel for me, and probably top 10 of all of MCU movies. That
I
whole
agree.
entire space sequence was phenomenal.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Everything when they're up in space and that scene that involves the black hole is
Everything about that was amazing.
genuinely one of my favorite scenes in the MCU.
It was intense. I was nervous for the
Genuinely.
characters. I was excited.
And that's
it was
one thing I like
awesome.
about this movie is that for once they're not shoving that kind of MCU tacky humor down your throat every 2 seconds. It lets itself have its actual serious moments and let these characters naturally be funny in their own ways. And I really appreciated that as well because it made for a scene like the one we're talking about right now to let itself actually have its space, no pun intended, seriously, like with like when you're in the theater and like let itself just sit there and be that moment instead of feeling like the characters have to insert this unnecessary humor. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, these are spoilers for Fantastic Four First Steps. So if you haven't seen it, skip this part. Go watch another YouTube video or something. Listen to this on Spotify sometime else. Skip ahead, do whatever.
Or go
but
watch the movie and then come back and finish the
go
segment.
watch the movie. It's great. Spoilers ahead for Fantastic Four First Steps. What do you got for me?
So you want my problems?
I think you should hit me with your problems because I have a couple problems too. We might
All
have the
right.
same problem.
I think that this movie was not the most well written movie in the world. And it's not
Okay.
that they didn't get the family dynamics across or that they didn't tell a story that I found interesting. It's that I think the studio fucking butchered the story.
What part of the story though?
I feel like there's just a lot missing. Like the pacing, it's so fast. I just feel like we go from this one beat to the next beat to the next beat. I start with the origin. I understand this idea that we don't need a full movie surrounding a team or a superhero's origin, and I'm fine with that. But the Fantastic Four are still different than Superman and Batman, where I just don't think that origin has ever been done in a film that was widespread enough and liked enough that people, didn't need it again. I feel like people who read the comics and, are super avid fans, they don't need it again. But that hasn't been done before. And this movie didn't need to be their entire origin, but it was it was literally a guy recapping it like you're watching a previously on for the next episode of a TV show. And it didn't work for me. So that's one. And two, there's a ton of scenes from trailers and promotion that wasn't in this movie.
Yeah,
And
I noticed
that's
that too.
largely noticeable. And I think this scene is just missing these interactions. Like it's just the story just kind of washing along like a wave, and it feels like it moves too quickly. Why is this? Just because first of all, they do that not for creative reasons. I'm not blaming Matt
It's
Shackman.
studio.
Studios are doing that because they want more showtimes to make more money. So they cut down because the shorter the movie, the more showtimes in a day, the more money in their pockets. So I'm not blaming the creatives behind it because I bet that they had the full, really cool story. But there's just so much cut. John Malkovich is another example. This whole
That's
character.
correct. I can't believe you had him and cut it.
Out of the film. I just feel like I'm watching this and like it's great. And I'm like, I really like these characters. And it just feels like it's moving along so quickly that I'm not having enough time to appreciate things. And then you have these things like, this is what I was going to talk about before, Natasha Lyonne,
Okay.
who I
Well, wait.
recently...
Can I respond to your first 2 points before we get to
Sorry.
the third one?
Okay, go.
Okay, because I already kind of forgot what your first one was. Your second point about them cutting everything, yeah, I totally agree with that because there was such a good line in the trailers that I was so excited to hear when Sue Storm says to Reed, Ben's always been our rock, Johnny's always been Johnny, and I'm sure she would have said more stuff, just not in the movie. And that was such a good line in the trailer. I was like, yeah. They have great dynamics. Everyone gets time to shine with somebody else in this movie, and they all have their own individual moments together. But I do think it needed more of those family dynamic dialogue scenes like that one because I don't really buy that Ben and Reed are best friends. They have one scene when it's just them two. I don't buy that they're best friends.
They have moments where they have one line to each other.
Right.
At
It
the
actually
end of
looked
things or
it looked like
whatever.
Johnny and Reed were better friends than Johnny and Ben were better friends than Ben and Reed. And your first point, what was your first point?
About the origin and the way the story just feels like it's moving too quickly.
Yeah, that is a good point. I don't even disagree with that because you do have a guy recap, and I think they summarize it well. But that's telling us, not showing us. That's like
this. Mm-hmm. And that's what this movie does a
rule
lot
in
of.
Hollywood is to show, not tell. And it tells you, it doesn't show you. It feels like it was recapping, like you said, like this is a sequel, and that was the first movie they just recapped. Of them fighting all these different villains. There was like the Mole Man stuff. There was the Red Ghost and his monkeys thing. It did feel like a recap of a movie that we never saw.
It just, my criticisms of the movie are the fact that there's not enough of the movie, essentially.
But I do think they recapped it well enough where the audience could understand what happened.
You might understand it, but it just feels rushed. I can't.
It
I
does
feel
feel
like, it's different. And again, I say it's different from Superman, where we get dropped right into that world, because it's been done before on a much widespread and successful scale with Superman. And I just feel like with Fantastic Four, they could have balanced it a little better between saying, we understand that maybe this origin doesn't need to be the movie, but we can still show enough of it that builds that connection. So when these characters like Ben and Johnny, and especially like you said, Ben and Reed, we actually buy it later on when they're facing Galactus, and we buy that dynamic between them even more. When I say I liked it, it's because I think the actors sold it well enough.
They
I
have
just
chemistry.
feel like they have great chemistry, but the writing was not there. It just felt like this movie, like I described before, was like a wave. I felt like we were just washing through plot points.
Yeah, and it's not even like the last Fantastic Four movie was 10 years ago. It was 2015, Fan Four Stick, and the origin before that was 2005. So every 10 years we've gotten a Fantastic Four origin, because this year we didn't. But it's not, like you said, Superman. It's not Batman. It's not even Spider-Man, where it's relatively the same every iteration. The first Fantastic Four movie, their origins are not the same as the 2015 one.
Yep.
In the first one, whatever they are, they go to space, they get hit by the waves. That's usually how it is. In the 2015 one, they go to an alternate dimension. Victor Von Doom gets left there, and he actually went with them on the trip, and Invisible Woman didn't. That's a whole different origin story. And this one, so it's not like a well-known story.
Right.
Is what your point is. I'm pretty sure it was what mine is that it's not Superman, it's not Batman, it's not Spider-Man, where it's always been the same thing. People, younger kids who might be 12, 13, 14 years old might not even know the original movie from 2005. They might think they went to an alternate dimension with Doctor Doom because that's what happened in 2015. You never know. So, I don't know.
I totally agree. It's like when you said the tell not show, that was kind of my thought too, because this movie feeds a lot of exposition.
It
You know
does.
what I mean? Like Silver Surfer comes down and explains what's going on, and then they go and Galactus is this is what I want and this is what we need. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just and here's their origin. Here it's feeding everything. And as an audience goer, as a movie goer, that just makes me feel like the studio is almost talking down to me a little bit, because it's they don't feel like I have the maturity and the wherewithal to actually get a decent origin and introduction and like being able to process it without you telling me what's going on.
Yeah, you can't
Like, you don't need
formulate
to-
your own thoughts.
Right. You don't need to hold my hand and walk me down the fucking street.
Well, so I know you had another point, but my last critique of this movie is kind of combined with this stuff. Can I just throw that out there real quick?
Sure.
So don't forget your last thing with Natasha Lyonne or your other thing. My last critique of this movie, I'm pretty sure, because I can't really think of anything else, is speaking of rushing things, the ending I think was weirdly rushed and stalled at the same time.
Yeah, I think that's something a lot of people thought too. I don't think you're alone
the
in that.
stuff with Sue pushing Galactus took way too long. Like her just pushing him slowly. Like I like that they all helped out, but they didn't really do much. I mean, you never really see any of them use really their powers that much.
That was another problem I had with the movie. That I was
Reed
waiting.
doesn't do
I was
shit with
wait-
his powers.
I was gonna say the same fucking thing. I was sitting on that one. I don't mean to interrupt, but I was sitting on that point.
Yeah.
You don't see their fucking powers that much. You see mostly like Johnny's the only one you really see a
Johnny
decent
and
amount.
Sue, she barely goes
you
invisible,
but you see a decent amount, but in non-conventional ways.
which is cool. Her turning the ship invisible was sick.
Yeah. But not enough in like action of fighting. You know what I
The
mean?
Thing doesn't even punch anything. The whole movie,
No.
he doesn't punch a single thing. He
Also-
carries a ship,
Yeah.
and then he like shoulder charges Silver Surfer, and then he shoulder charges some brick walls.
Yeah,
That's it.
doesn't punch a single fucking thing. And Reed has like the one scene or two scenes really where he stretches, and then obviously the one where Galactus is playing with him like he's a rubber band, but he's not like using his power. Like it's not enough.
He has like no creativity with his powers. It's just reach over there.
And you know, for all the praise this movie deserves for showcasing how smart all of them are and not just dumping all that onto Reed, but like showcasing how much of a team they really are with their brains, it does lack in showing how much of a team they are in their strength and in their brawn and in their powers. Like that's missing from this movie for sure.
So that fits into me thinking that they kind of delayed the ending a little bit with Galactus because it was just Sue pushing. Like they all could have just done some shit to help out. And they did slightly, but barely. But my biggest gripe with the ending is the Silver Surfer redemption is not earned, I think, in the slightest. I think she needed more scenes with Johnny. She needed more of a relationship with somebody because the Silver Surfer always ends up betraying Galactus. That's like the Silver Surfer's thing. Norrin Rad, Shalabal, whoever it is, betrays Galactus. But they either fall in love with Invisible Woman and they're like, wow, like I need to save her and I need to save this planet. Or they fall in love with humanity and they go, they get to know the people and they go, I can't destroy this planet. But in this one, Johnny starts to become the love interest, but instead he's like, you killed these people, here are them screaming, and that's enough for her to be like, oh yeah, I'm bad. You killed billions of people, hearing them scream should not be enough to turn you around.
Yeah. And that
you need
goes
to like develop a relationship or something with somebody or something.
because you've obviously heard that screaming
That's what I was thinking.
time and time again, and it hasn't bothered you until now. You got this guy on fire in your ear. Like, come on, I think that goes along to my whole big criticism of this not being the most well written because it's missing stuff. Like it's missing key story elements like that.
She and then she disappears for like 25 minutes.
Yep.
And then comes back for 15 seconds. And I think that was not earned. I think if she had a better relationship with either Johnny or the people of Earth, honestly, how cool would it have been if she left for those 25 minutes and we saw her like floating around Earth, looking at things from above, looking at the people, the places, the nature, the animals, and she's like, wait, these people are like, she starts to develop a relationship with them. I think that would have been so much better than having her disappear, then come back, save the day, Galactus is gone.
I agree. I totally agree. And I don't mind the part where she also reconnects with her past. That
I don't mind that.
That can be part of her redemption through finding it in the humanity. By reconnecting with her past through the humanity that she finds on Earth. I totally agree. This movie's just missing stuff.
But learning her language and showing the screams was just not enough.
And like the whole learning her language was cool to see. Johnny is also a very intelligent person, but it is not enough. It's not enough for her to earn her redemption. And you know what? I'm just gonna say it. Not enough Galactus stuff either in this movie. Truthfully.
Yeah, I
not enough of him like fighting and like you see him look at the Statue of Liberty and he doesn't destroy it, and I'm sitting there like, what's the point of that? What are we doing here? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just wanted more.
Maybe he was so confident in himself that he was like, that thing's gonna get destroyed when I eat this planet anyway.
I get that, but I got why they made that choice creatively, but I'm sitting there like just wanting something crazy out of Galactus. We've been waiting to see him on the big screen for years, and he looked beautiful, and I just
He
don't
did
think
look
we
good.
saw quite enough.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I just, for me personally, I didn't need more Galactus, I don't think. I think they did him well where he's kind of like this stoic, like looming figure, and I don't think we needed more of him, but I would have liked more of him, sure. But I think we had enough.
I just think it goes along the line of like I like the stoicism until there was that pushback from the Fantastic Four, and then I really wanted more like anger. I wanted him to be able to reach that next level if he
That
needed
would have been
to.
cool. Yeah, that would have been cool.
The last thing I wanted to say about this movie that I talked about before was Natasha Lyonne, because what I love her, she's great,
Yeah.
but why was she in this movie? There was she like the everything with her and Ben went nowhere, and all the only reason it was in the movie. And I get, first of all, she's not Alicia. I get the whole thing with that, but that's not even
Yeah.
who her character was.
It's
So
Rachel
she's
something.
Rachel something, some fucking joke about cookies, and then like shows up one more time later on, and I just didn't really understand the point other than she was there to give him some kind of side plot, which I feel like they should have done way more with him trying to like grapple with his reality of his appearance like they teased in the promotion, instead of this wasteful time spent on this relationship just to get another celebrity into the movie.
Yeah.
It served no purpose.
I could not agree more. I think they really dropped the ball with Ben because I don't really care about any of their origins. I don't care about Johnny, Reed, Sue, but Ben fighting with the fact that he's become what he thinks is a monster is such an interesting storyline and an arc, and having his relationship with her could have been their way of showing that, but they really didn't do it.
Yeah.
Because he's been it for 4 years. He even has a line with Reed where Reed's like, "I regret doing this to you," which is a great line. I love when Reed feels guilt over the things he does because he's such a genius, but he doesn't understand how his genius can lead to meeting someone like Galactus, or lead to the Silver Surfer, or lead to ruining your best friend's life. And they have this line, and he goes, "Nah, don't worry about it, man. It's not your fault." Like, he seems like he's accepted it already. So what is his arc? You know what I mean?
Very, very just like, and it all ties back to the point I made where this movie is washing through because it's very quick and it's very rushed. And this whole movie is just like rushing through plot point to plot point. And that's why it's like, I'm torn because I love everything I'm seeing, but it's just so like, I don't want to say empty because the movie does have, it's not that the movie's empty. It's that the story feels like it's just the very basic version of it, like the total bare bones version of it. And I feel like that's not doing it justice.
We are shitting on it a lot, and I actually have one more criticism that I forgot to mention. But the space sequence was so fucking good, and when the Silver Surfer reaches her hand into Sue's stomach, and they get out of there right immediately, I was like shitting myself. I was so nervous for her. I thought she was gonna like reach through and take the baby out.
That was very scary to me
How
too.
crazy
Oh my
was
god, that was a crazy moment.
And then Johnny's like, she's like, kill her.
Yeah,
Johnny,
I know.
kill her. She wants her. That's Disney throwing out kill this fucking bitch is crazy.
Yeah, I wanted to end Fantastic Four by asking you this question.
Well, wait, I have one more critique. Do you want to?
Oh, I thought, okay, no, okay, go.
No, that was just my favorite part of the movie.
Oh, okay.
My last critique is, speaking of the baby, is I don't like how the baby saves Sue from dying. First of all, don't do a fake death when you already confirmed that she'll be in the next movie.
No, I know.
That Doomsday chair reveal spoiled two of their movies. Like it's
Well,
Thunderbolts.
I want to say something about that real quick because so at first I was like, oh yeah, fake death, but then it lingered a little long enough that I started to wonder if her being in the next movie was just going to be a different like reality.
Yeah,
And I was
you
like,
could do that.
I was like, wait, maybe they are killing this one off, which I was not going to be happy about.
No, you can't kill
In
one
the
of
first
the four
in
in
the
first
movie. You know what I mean? So, but I did for a second wonder if that's what they were doing.
Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, 2007, ended the same way. Remember that when Invisible Woman gets stabbed through the heart and Silver Surfer comes down and brings her back to life?
Vaguely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's so pretty
no.
much the exact same ending. But Franklin brings her back to life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like how they introduce a character that can bring you back from the dead. I know he is the most powerful character. He's like the most insanely powerful character in comics. I get it. But in movies, comics are different. In movies, there should be a limit. And you can say maybe he just can't do that one thing because now there are no stakes for Doomsday unless his powers are neutralized or Doom has him kidnapped because of course the end credit scene.
Yeah.
If
Which
Doom
kind of,
if
was-
Doom takes him and has him kidnapped where he can't use his powers, I'm fine with it. But if Franklin is just a character in the movie at all, there are literally no stakes because he can bring anyone back to life.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not the first time Marvel has done that. Even when they introduced time travel in Endgame, it was kind of the same deal.
I
And
know,
in
but
fact,
at least
that's how
set
they
limits. They set limits. You need to return to the exact same point, the exact same time.
I mean, that's a
and it
fair
doesn't affect
argument.
your timeline.
I mean, we always knew this was going to come when they were introducing the Fantastic Four because we
I
always
know.
knew what Franklin was going to be. But I see your point. You know, I get it.
Like in Adam Eve in Invincible, they write that she has a mental block where she can't affect humans or living creatures. Do something with that with Franklin. Just say his powers do everything in the world, but he just can't do anything past death. You know, death was introduced in Agatha, whatever the fucking show was called, Agatha.
Agatha all along, I think. Yeah.
Agatha all along.
Yeah.
Death was a character introduced, played by Aubrey Plaza. Just say she has power over that, and he can't do that. I don't know. It would weaken him, but I just don't like introducing that when we have a movie coming up where we're like, who's gonna live, who's gonna die. Now it doesn't really seem
Well,
like
I
it
mean, in
matters.
general, I talked about this at the beginning of Fantastic Four. I'm not excited for Doomsday as much as I ever was for Infinity War and Endgame, and it just
course.
doesn't feel earned. You talked about that in this movie with Silver Surfer. This movie does not feel earned by Marvel because Infinity War and Endgame was a buildup of a decade of trilogies for some of these main characters, even of stories building up to this moment where it's first individual, then they team up, then the teams team up. It's this slow buildup. Doomsday is cutting right to the chase. We haven't seen Shang-Chi's supposed to be one of the main characters. Haven't seen him in years since his movie.
I was just gonna say, I saw something online. A big cameo of Infinity War was Red Skull. Everyone's like, holy shit, they brought him back. He was in a movie 7 years earlier. When 2011's Captain America came out, but everyone's like, holy shit, they brought him back. Shang-Chi, one of the main characters, we're not gonna have seen him for 6 years. Almost as much as that surprise, crazy, how'd they bring him back cameo.
That's a really great perspective to put it in, actually.
It's insane. We're
That's
like, whoa,
nuts.
they brought him back?
Holy shit. That is nuts. I like, literally, and then you see, Rebecca Romijn, she was like, yeah, by the way.
Romaine.
Oh, fuck. I honestly never knew how to say her last name.
Yeah.
Rebecca.
Well, don't even
holy
get me
shit.
started on how to pronounce Mr. Fantastic's name because I'm gonna butcher that in a second.
Romaine, like the
No,
lettuce.
Yeah, it is like the lettuce.
Oh, well, sorry, Rebecca Romaine. My bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, but did you see what she said about? She was like, I still don't know if I have more scenes to film because the script's not done. Look at DC. Look at DC because
Not done.
James Gunn refuses to greenlight a movie if the script is not approved. Whereas, like they have a process and they'll wait years if it means making it work.
Yeah.
And then at Marvel, they're forcing it so much that they're just flying by the seat of their pants.
Like, what's the rush?
And it genuinely feels like they're just collecting as many nostalgic grabs. And sure, we're all going to see it, but I don't want people to... I mean, people opening now, you're going to be like, holy shit, and think it's the greatest thing in the world. The reality is that it's not earned. Like, we haven't had this build-up. It may be fun and cool, and I don't want to take that away from people, but it's not going to have the same impact that Infinity War and Endgame, and sure, Endgame's flawed, but it is good enough. Like, the impact that those movies had as a build-up and payoff to what the MCU was to that point, the whole Infinity Saga, it is not going to be the same for Doomsday. And releasing Thunderbolts and calling it the New Avengers is not like enough. Like that doesn't work that way.
No, and Doomsday, like they're taking out, at least not taking out, but they haven't confirmed so many characters that people love. No confirmation of Spider-Man, no confirmation of Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange, Daredevil, Moon Knight, all these characters that we're like, we can't wait to see again. Of course, we got people we like Shang-Chi and Thor and Winter Soldier, but there's so many that people are like, where are they? Where are they? Where are they? They might not even be in the fucking movie because you have so much shit going on. You can't fit all these people.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And that doesn't even get into the fact that a year after they announced it, I'm still not convinced about this RDJ playing Doctor Doom. Not in the slightest bit, really.
What'd you think of the end credits scene?
It was kind of lackluster. I expected it to be that.
I thought he was going to turn around at least.
I didn't think so. And
No.
Matt Shackman in an interview said that was Robert Downey Jr. actually in there, and I just don't believe it.
No, Robert Downey Jr., you don't show his face?
I just don't believe it. Well, probably because they were like, we'd have to pay him so much more if we show his face. I still don't buy it. Why would you get him? Why would you even... No, I just
That's
don't
a
believe
body
it.
double.
Yeah, it's a body double. He's full of shit. But I really... I wanted to leave on one last question about Fantastic Four, just because I do want to get to these other movies, but I'm curious... because I don't love pitting them against each other. I think Superman and Fantastic Four were both great movies overall and are a huge win for the summer and a huge win for the audience and a huge win for the studios, a huge win for everyone. However, I do think there was a clear slight difference for Superman to me. I'm curious, other than the fact that Fantastic Four is your favorite, and unless that is the only reason, but other than the fact that I know the Fantastic Four are personally some of your favorite superheroes, what did you think was better about that movie than Superman? I'm just curious.
So, yeah, of course, like you just said, Fantastic Four is like what I grew up with. Like those, I read those comics, I watched those movies. Like Spider-Man is my number one, Wolverine number two, Fantastic Four is right after that. Like those are my guys. But besides that, I think Superman is amazing. I really think they're both 9s out of 10. Fantastic Four is just this much higher because Superman drags in the middle for me just a tiny bit when he's got the, baby Joey after he escapes and he's fighting in the river. And I think that's a whole 20-minute sequence that really drags for me and feels longer. And because that happens in the middle of the movie, it feels more damaging than when Fantastic Four has the best scenes of the movie are in the middle of the movie. I'm fine with an ending feeling kind of like a drag because I'm like, this is the ending and like it's good.
See, I don't know about I don't want to cut you off, but see, my rebuttal to that would be the beginning and the end are the two parts that you most remember, your first impression and your last impression. And I feel like those are very important as a filmmaker. And so I'm surprised that, in your opinion, it's the middle portion, because in my opinion, it is what you first see and what you last see are what really sticks with you.
I know.
Like you see online, people are posting that picture of Superman lying on that table and everything. Like that, I feel like was such an impactly last image for people.
It was
a send
great.
off of hope.
It was.
I'm just
I think
curious about that. Yeah,
I think Superman. I actually really liked Fantastic Four's beginning, though. I thought the montage and stuff, even though I don't love the tell don't show thing that they did, I thought the vibes were immaculate, dude. I was like, you know what, I feel like I'm in the theater watching the Gilbert show, reminiscing about the Fantastic Four. I did love those vibes.
That's fair.
I think it had a better beginning than Superman and a better middle, but Superman had the better ending, and those beginnings and middles are barely, but the beginning is barely. The middle I do think was a lot better because I love the space sequence. That might be my favorite sequence of all the superhero movies we've gotten this year. And Superman had a fantastic ending, but the meat and potatoes is what I'm focusing on. So that's the middle hour and a half, and the last the last 20 minutes and the beginning 20 minutes, I guess don't matter as much to me. I don't know. I get what you're saying. That makes so much sense, and that should be the way it is. But when I'm sitting here thinking about it, I'm like, if the middle drags, I prefer the one that doesn't. And I just think the middle of Superman dragged a tiny, tiny bit.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, sometimes when movies are close enough, it does come down to slight preferences like that. So
it's my second favorite and my third favorite of the year.
Yeah, dude, Sinners is goated. Fuck
Sinners
yeah.
on top, baby.
Nothing's fucking topping Sinners. I'll be shocked. But no, yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily agree about the middle sequence. I mean, I do. The middle sequence of Fantastic Four, some of the best shit we've seen in a while. I don't necessarily agree about your opinion on the middle sequence of Superman, but I respect the opinion. I get it. At the end of the day, it is very slight differences.
Yeah, and I love the movie. No shade to the movie. Superman
Yeah,
is fucking fantastic.
at the end of the day, these
Say that again.
these are great movies.
Say that again.
All right. Sorry if you're listening on Spotify, you missed out. Anything else you want to say? That's all I got.
Yeah. Last thing. Is every cast member an upgrade from the 2005 cast?
Yes.
I think I like Chris Evans as Human Torch a little better.
That's fair, but I think that's the closest. But I do think Joseph Quinn won me over.
Okay, that's right. I just wanted to know where you stood. And last thing, but Joseph Quinn was good. He was fine. But Chris Evans was like, that's my Human Torch. Where on your Letterboxd MCU does this fit? Like, what number is it? I just want to know. Out of the entirety of all Letterboxd projects, what number is this for you?
I have 48 on here.
I have 47. I never saw Echo.
I never saw Echo. What do I have that you don't? It's got to be one of the shows, right?
It's got to be one of the shows, but I don't know. Well,
interesting. We got to figure that out after.
Let me look at your list while you're doing that.
Mine is 16th out of 48.
Where's Thunderbolts?
Thunderbolts is 17th. They're very close.
Way.
I think they were both very, very good. They're very close, in my opinion.
Fantastic Four, First Steps, number 10.
Interesting.
Thunderbolts, number 11.
Oh, yo,
Is that
dude,
crazy?
that's crazy. Yeah, they're very close.
Funny.
They're both very good movies. The only reason I put Fantastic Four slightly higher because I thought it was just the visuals were so distinct and cool. I enjoyed those vibes a little more.
I don't have Agatha on there. That's why.
I
never saw Agatha.
Okay, that's 22nd on my list.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
All right.
That's our review of Fantastic Four: First Steps.
Oh, and the music rocked, by the way. Michael Giacchino,
the music was great.
Fucking great. Just shouting him out. Just shouting him out.
I've been playing it like all day recently.
Dude, I've listened to it at times too.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Fantastic Four.
There are other movies that have come out in the last couple of weeks. The movie that got sandwiched between Superman and Fantastic Four was Ari Aster's next film, Eddington. Have you ever seen any of his movies? He did Midsummer, Hereditary, and Beau is Afraid.
I saw Midsummer.
Okay. All right. Oh, wait, we saw it together, didn't we, when we were...
At the Airbnb.
At the Airbnb, yeah.
You know, Pedro Pascal is in all these movies this year. He's in Materialists. He is in
Eddington.
He's in Eddington.
Speaking of Pedro Pascal, he was in Eddington.
You have your 2025 list. He's going to be in at least 3 of those movies.
He was in those 3. I don't think he was in a 4th one this year because he was also in Last of Us. That's the 4th.
Yeah, but he's probably going to be in something else that comes out at some point.
Dude, you know he's in The Wild Robot too, and I always forget that. I'm like, damn.
He is the GOAT.
Yeah, he's great. So I'll start with giving a rating. I gave Eddington 7 social distancing, 7 feet to social distance instead of the 6 out of 10. Get an extra foot in there for good measure.
Yeah, you love feet.
Not as much as you love feet.
Okay, nice one, dude.
Yeah, I thought of that all on my own.
Good
Holy
job.
Shit. Dude, anyway. All right. Eddington. This is like one of the first movies that really is reflecting the COVID pandemic and like that time period. It takes place in May of 2020. And that's kind of crazy to me that we're like kind of getting this art already reflecting that time period and like remembering what it was like to live during that.
We were there.
And yeah, because that really puts the passage of time in perspective for me. But like, did you see the movie Civil War?
Yeah.
This is kind of like Ari Aster's Civil War in a way.
Okay, I enjoyed Civil War.
Tonally speaking, it's worse than Civil War in my opinion.
Okay,
but it's kind of like Ari Aster's version of Civil War, but he took the story of Beau is Afraid, like the story frame of Beau is Afraid, which is almost this like nonsensical story. It's just Joaquin Phoenix running around for 3 hours. But like I'm going to start with positives like we always do with our reviews. This movie was so accurate in depicting this time period, both with that COVID and what that was like, but the heightened tension politically and socially that came with that time period. Obviously, like, because this movie depicts the George Floyd murder and obviously everything, the rise of the Black Lives Matter and this real, like, rise in social justice and awareness.
They
at the
really
time
cover
period.
everything.
Yeah, like it really was a thorough film. I mean, it's 100 and how long? 149 minutes. Like as someone who lived, as one of the, like all of us that lived through that time period, I was captivated by how accurate it depicted that and both sides. Like it really had this, on one hand you have this far right wing MAGA nut job kind of like, fighting against the social distancing and the COVID restrictions. And then on the other end showed this like extremely progressive, like hypocritical, performative activism teenagers and like the kind of left-wing performative activism that people think is making a difference and they're just doing it because it's trendy and they don't really believe it. And this movie was depicting all that because these all were like butting heads at that time. And
It's
you
a shot
remember
at
that.
both sides.
You remember that. You were there.
Yeah,
I mean, like
we were there.
it was crazy, riots in the streets, and it was that shot at both sides. And this is what takes me to some of my problems with it is that by the end of the movie, I felt like, what was the point? We relived all this. We went through this time period. We saw it through the eyes of Joaquin Phoenix. So a little rundown of the story for you real quick. Joaquin Phoenix plays the sheriff of a town called Eddington. And he is like obviously super right wing and everything. And he doesn't want to wear a mask. And it's May of 2020. So COVID is running rampant. And Pedro Pascal plays the mayor of the town, Ted Garcia. And he is running for re-election. And Joaquin Phoenix is like all pissed off and he blames Pedro Pascal, and he's also hates him because apparently Pedro Pascal's character like sexually assaulted his wife when she was a kid. And that's the whole thing with Emma Stone's storyline, which is like fucking
God damn.
crazy. And this is like as spoilerly non-spoilers as I can get. Her and Austin Butler all but disappear in the third act of this movie. Very disappointing. I wanted more of them.
I honestly didn't even know he was in the movie. I don't think he was in a single trailer I saw.
Austin Butler?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in the movie. Like
He
this
wasn't
is
in a single trailer that I saw.
I know he's in the movie and he's really good and it's just wasted. He is
That
so
sucks.
underrated. He's so great. He's obviously great in Dune Part 2 and he's just totally wasted in this movie. So that was going on, but so that's what the movie's about. And I just thought that it didn't, like, when I got to the end of it, the point being, like, I felt like, what was the point? Because the movie didn't really take a stand. And I know some people might fight back on that and say, like, based on certain, I don't want to spoil it, because this is a movie you might want to see down the line, so I'm going to hold back.
Before the year ends, I'm probably going to see it.
Right, so I'm not going to spoil it on this episode. But, like, people might fight back based on, like, how the movie goes down and say, like, that's, it's not it takes a stance. Like they may say it takes a stance. Personally, to me though, like I feel like I got to the end and I was like, what was the point of it? It just felt like it was spitting all of this stuff that we lived and that's still very raw for a lot of people and still going on in many ways today. And it was like, all right, fine, you're spitting that back at us. What do you have to say about it? And I felt like it didn't really have anything introspective to say about it.
What message was it trying to convey?
Right. That's what
you can't even tell.
I mean, I can like speculate. I don't really want to get into it too much because I don't want to spoil how it ends.
Okay,
I guarantee you don't know how this is going to go. But
I lived it, bro. Of course I know.
No, I mean like what happens with the
There's a
characters
vaccine.
in the movie. Yeah, dude. Facts.
They'll find the
Dude,
vaccine.
Me watching this movie, like shit, that pandemic's pretty serious. I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder what's going to happen. I hope they live.
But I mean, like the actor Joaquin Phoenix is great. He's pretty much always great. I love Pedro Pascal, but Pedro Pascal was actually really great in this. I don't think he was better in this than he was better in Fantastic Four, but like what he does in this movie was really interesting too. And I think even though it's not the most popular of his movies out right now, like I like the work he's doing. I mean, this is just Pedro Pascal's time. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
the one thing I want to ask you, even though you haven't seen this movie, is how long after an historical event do you think it's appropriate to start making movies about it? Because there are other, this is not the first example of a movie about a very recent historical event coming out. Like All the President's Men, which is about Watergate, came out only a couple years after Watergate. And I think there was like a Nicolas Cage 9/11 movie that came out like the fucking next year, which is crazy. So I'm curious what you think on that.
I really think it depends on the event. Like, you know the movie Patriots Day with Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah, that's another example, actually.
How soon after the
I think
Boston
that came
Marathon
out
bombing
like
did
the
that come
next
out?
year.
See, I think something like that is too soon
You think
because
so?
that was a
Yeah.
very uh like I don't even know, like a very local event, I guess, because obviously it was a bombing of this one area. And I think 9/11 is still, like, to make a movie a year after about that is still, unless it's a documentary, it's fine, of
That's
course.
different. We're not talking documentaries. We're
Yeah,
talking narrative fiction.
but yeah, a fictional movie, I think if it's such a local and like precise event that happened at this exact spot at this exact time, I think a year is too soon. I think even 5 years is too
I was
soon.
gonna say, what do you think about them doing? Because I saw a movie recently called Help, starring Jodie Comer, and it's basically just about like this nurse in the United Kingdom trying to take care of the nursing home. It's not like for elderly people; it's mostly elderly. But there's also like a younger guy who has like dementia or I forget, like I think maybe is like bipolar or multiple personality, something like that, where he can't be on
Okay.
his own. Anyway, and it takes place during like March of COVID when it was first spreading, and that was so different from Eddington, in my opinion. Like Eddington was accurate, and so was Help, but the difference to me was that this movie, it was like a made-for-TV movie, but this movie was just all it was trying to say, it wasn't about the politics at that time. All it was trying to say was like how horrible and how difficult this was, and how everyone was kind of left all on their own at the time because no one knew how to handle it. And Jodie Comer gave what was one of my favorite performances of the whole year that I've watched so far, and maybe one of my favorite performances that I've seen ever. Like she's so good in that movie. But then you see Eddington, and it's like, is it appropriate?
Well, so for those exact events, I think you got to wait like 10 years because people were affected by that so strongly, and with COVID, since it was a worldwide thing, people were affected strongly, but everybody was affected.
Well, a lot of people
And
died. I mean,
I know, so people were affected very strongly. But
yeah.
like, I think you don't have to wait as long for those because, like, movies and things were coming out, TV shows were coming out during that time, and those, an episode of Always Sunny, they're wearing masks. They talk about COVID.
That's true.
Episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, they got their mask. They have to have social distancing. What's really the difference between them recording while it's happening and then recording a year later when it's over?
But is it different because those shows are just using it as a backdrop, and like movies like Eddington and Help and stuff like that are actually trying to, I guess, like dissect that time
Yeah.
period and analyze it and say something about it, and like
No, that's a
Always
good
Sunny,
point.
you know what I mean? Like Always Sunny is just like it is like taking place during COVID. Like there is
Yeah.
because there's a difference.
I mean, but it does. But Always Sunny is such a bad example because they're such a like they're allowed to get away with anything.
Yeah.
So, because I was gonna say in one of their episodes, Frank is like hoarding hand sanitizer, and masks and stuff, and it's like they're using COVID as the plot of an episode because they're living through it. But like Always Sunny can get away with that,
Well, so did South Park. I mean,
and that's another show that can get away with it.
Because then you think about shows like Saturday Night Live and variety sketch shows that are, like parodying, that are about real time events. Like, what is the difference between those and a movie like Eddington, actually, that's trying to find some nuance within the time period and reflect on it?
It's a good question.
It's
a good
interesting
question for sure.
I mean, like, because you can, I guess, and hey, this is the place where we figure that stuff out, like what we think. I don't know.
Try to.
I don't know. Like, but I mean, that it's like there is a difference too, because that's art that's happening while it's happening versus art that's reflecting on it after the fact. You know what I mean? Like we look back at the things that we did during, COVID, like we talk SNL a little bit, the way they did SNL episodes, the way SNL kind of portrayed and talked about COVID in their sketches, but also the way they couldn't, because they're living through it at the same time. So we had to do things virtually. Like, it's so unique in its own right versus having art that just reflects on it after the fact. Like,
there is a difference.
I feel like
it's hard to
COVID
verbalize what it is.
I feel like COVID is its own separate enigma when it comes to this debate versus like if someone's assassinated, like a highly, like a political figure, how long before you make a movie about that or about them? Like, because COVID is something that like this was this worldwide phenomenon, this worldwide pandemic of the likes that no one on earth had experienced, anything like
Right.
it. And so it's just, you're right. It is almost hard to verbalize, like, reflecting there is that difference between art that is made during that time period and the art that we make after that's about the time period, because, we've had time to sit with COVID and think about these things. I just find it interesting. Like, that's one of the takeaways I had with Eddington was kind of like how we approach these recent historical events in terms of our art, both obviously the way they, because we talk on this podcast about how art, like real life, affects the art we make, but what about when that art is about the real life that it's affecting? It's kind of trippy when you word it that way, but you know what I mean.
It's really, this is my favorite part about this podcast, is that we can have these conversations where I'm like, what are we talking about? But I know it matters, Like, I'm like, this is a crazy conversation we're having right now because I have no idea what we're even saying. Like, because we're trying to, like, verbalize these ideas and compare these, like, important things. But at the same time, I'm just like, I don't even know what we're saying right now. I just know we're trying to figure it out.
It's easy to sit here and be like, I thought Fantastic Four was really good, or really bad for whatever. Yeah. But, like, this is another reason why like you said, I wanted to start this podcast, because it's interesting. Like, I otherwise wouldn't think about that, and it's true, because
makes you think.
Like, not everything when it comes to entertainment is just sunshine and rainbows. Like this, even with Superman, like we talked about it, like it has its impact, it matters, and so Anyway, I don't want to get too off track with that, but I was curious your thoughts. So that's Eddington. You should check it out. Yeah. And I'm going to move on real quick. Happy Gilmore 2, starring Jack Maloney. I watched it. I couldn't find you. I was looking. I really did.
Well, for anyone watching this real quick, I filmed as an extra in the background of Happy Gilmore 2 for a couple scenes in like way back in October. And then the movie came out and I couldn't fucking find myself. I don't know where the hell I am.
Maybe similar to Fantastic Four, maybe you got cut.
Maybe my scenes are there. But I just can't. The background's blurry, or sometimes it cuts too quickly. I don't fucking know. I got paid for it, so I don't care. I put it on my resume that I worked for Netflix.
Dude, that's pretty funny, actually. You know what? All I gotta say is that, especially rewatching the original right before seeing this one, it's mid. It's just a copy and paste. It's just a lot of rehashing the jokes from the first. Be like, hey, remember this? Hey, remember that? And then mixing in so many celebrity cameos, it made my head spin. I couldn't keep up with it. You got Travis Kelce, you got Bad Bunny, you got fucking Kelsey Plum. I was like, why the fuck is Kelsey Plum from the WNBA in Happy Gilmore 2? Obviously, a bunch of professional golfers. That makes sense. That was cool. I did admittedly laugh at one scene where they made a joke about Scotty Scheffler getting arrested again. That was really funny. But overall, I just think it's crazy, like, that Netflix just coming out with this kind of, like, look, I respect Adam Sandler making his little shitty Adam Sandler comedies where he gets his buddies together and has fun. Fun. You know what? Like, that's cool. But I don't want to sit and pretend that it was as remarkably hilarious and creative and stupid in a good way as the original was. The original's an iconic movie.
I never saw the original. And admittedly, I didn't even watch this one. I just skipped ahead to what scenes I was in, so I couldn't see myself. Turn that shit off. My one question is, how did they handle the fact that Carl Weathers died?
Well, you haven't seen the first. I
don't care about spoilers.
It's the first. It's been out long enough.
Yeah.
He dies in that movie.
Oh, no way.
So it doesn't...
Because I saw in the trailer they're like at his grave. I thought they were gonna have him die off screen.
No, he dies
oh, shit.
in the first movie. It's actually so funny, too.
Does he get eaten by a crocodile?
That's not how he dies, but
Oh,
that's
okay.
that's how he lost his hand. That's like the whole
Oh,
bit with his
okay.
hand. But he dies in the first movie, but apparently they like Adam Sandler said he had something planned with Carl Weathers because they do like show people
Like a
talking.
flashback or a
Yeah,
ghost or
like
some
you know what
shit.
they do in this sequel movie? A spoiler for Happy Gilmore 2 because you don't give a shit. You know his wife is played by Julie Bowen, who is Claire Dunphy.
Yeah, I met her when we were filming.
She fucking dies in the first 5 minutes of the movie, and she's a main character in the first movie, and they just kill her off for no fucking reason.
What?
And then they still show her in the afterlife, like, to have him like have an emotional reason to like keep playing golf or
Does
whatever.
she show up on the golf course as like a ghost?
Well, it's not like Star Wars as a Force ghost. It like
Well,
happens in like his like visions or
the
whatever.
scenes I filmed were on a golf course and she was fucking there, so I didn't expect that she would die.
No, she dies. Dude, you know what? Maybe your scenes are actually in the beginning because you know how she dies?
How?
She dies by she for some reason she's all the, you know how he hits golf balls so fucking far, like that's
Yeah.
his whole thing. For some reason she's all the way at the other end of the fucking hole that they're on.
No
and
fucking
he
way he
fucking kills her. He hits the golf ball and it flies all the way and kills her. And that's how she dies. So maybe that was the scene you
Wait,
were there
maybe?
for, which is at the beginning of the movie.
Oh, because I thought it was in the middle.
Yeah, so I didn't even look then because I didn't realize. So maybe that's like where you're at.
She was there, so I don't know.
Dude,
It was her,
fucking
Bad Bunny.
so-
No, but Bad Bunny was there too.
It's
Her,
I mean,
Adam Sandler, and Bad Bunny were the only three, and Haley Joel Osment.
oh, all right. In that case, who knows? Because those guys, I guess, I don't know. I don't even fucking know.
They could have
Happy
filmed
Gilmore
shit
too.
the same day. different
Yeah, they
time,
might have
blah,
filmed
blah,
it the same day. Yeah, who knows? So, but regardless, that's how she dies, and the fact that they kill her off. And my point being, because you have Carl Weathers, who is already killed off in the movie and unfortunately dead in real life, and yet you kill off a very real and alive actress who is in the movie for no fucking reason. No
That's
reason.
insane.
Wait, I don't know. This movie sucks. And you want to hear the funniest thing about Happy Gilmore? They fucking make this. Netflix makes this sequel and then is immediately removing the original from their service at the end of this month. Why?
Where's it going?
Maybe somewhere else. Who knows? I don't
They're
know.
like,
I
fuck
just
it.
know it's leaving.
You better
Netflix.
watch the first one now. You're never gonna get another
They're
chance.
like, why? They just make a shitty sequel and then get rid of the first one. Fucking stupid. Dude, and
can't believe
one
she
of the
died.
cameos in the movie is Netflix CEO's daughter, Ted Sarando's daughter.
What does she do?
She's like just like an FBI agent.
cares?
There's so many. I'm just nepotism.
Just
Anyway,
naming. Dude, I can't
fucking-
believe she dies. That's so crazy.
I know, fucking stupid movie. I mean, I give it a 5 out of 10. I don't even know if I ever said my rating. Like, look,
Yeah, I don't
it's
think you did.
it's like some decent fun. It's not the worst movie I've ever seen. It's just in comparison to the original. Like I've seen people rate it higher than that. I know friends who said they really enjoyed it. To me, it just wasn't for me.
All right, that's fair enough.
So that's Happy Gilmore 2. Moving away from the silver screen and onto the smaller screen, we're going to talk a little bit of things in television. And before we get to the Emmys, we're going to talk a little bit about something that happened while we were on our hiatus, which is that CBS canceled The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. So this was crazy news.
It was wild.
They said that it was purely a financial decision. And I'm going to say this, like, I get that there is a very real fact that the late night brand is dying. And that is just due to the fact that our modern culture has evolved beyond late night due to phones and social media and streaming. It's just how it goes. Nothing against it. There's still some great stuff that comes out of late night, but the general public has moved on. They're hiding it behind that very real fact, and I just don't think that's why they canceled this show. I think the real thing that needs to be said, and you know where I'm going with this, is Paramount, which is the parent company of CBS, recently settled a lawsuit with Donald Trump, a $16 million lawsuit with Donald Trump, that he filed claiming that CBS, through their show 60 Minutes, edited an interview that they did with Kamala Harris during the 2024 presidential election in an attempt to influence that election and get her put in office. That's fucking bullshit, and one of his just obvious distractions from greater news that we're not even going to get into. But this, the news of the cancellation of Colbert came only days after he criticized Paramount on his show for this settlement, because of the fact that they wanted to be able to fast track a merger with Skydance Media.
Yeah, it's not a coincidence.
It can't be a coincidence. It's ridiculous.
It's not a coincidence. It's political. And I really, when I heard it, I thought he was done. And I thought he was retiring or he was getting fired. But when I heard this entire show was being canceled, that was a shock.
And it's kind of concerning, actually. Not kind of. It's very concerning.
It's government controlling media.
Exactly. It's threatening the freedom of press and freedom of speech. I mean, when you think about the Late Show franchise, it's been on the air since 1993 with the legend David Letterman. I mean, this is an iconic franchise. Maybe you and I don't sit and watch the Late Show with Stephen Colbert every night anymore. We still see clips pop up on social media. There's still an importance to having these shows exist. Even if we're not always watching every single night, tuning in, they exist to allow that freedom of the press to continue and that expression of opposition to continue. And when you have the president of the United States having corporations, because Paramount is not the first in a long line of these corporations caving to the Trump administration, like when you have that going on, it's very concerning behavior.
I don't think, like, the show was gonna die at some point. Who knows when, but that kind of show was going to die. But the fact that it's days after he criticizes Paramount and Trump and during this administration is just not a coincidence. And you can just tell. Did you see what South Park did in their season premiere?
I did see that. That was, and you know what's funny? I'm actually really glad you brought that up because I forgot about that. South Park had just reached a 1.5, what was it, like billion settlement?
Dude.
Billion with a B dollar settlement with Paramount. 5 hours later, they dropped their first episode on Comedy Central, which is also under the Paramount cloud, completely shitting their parent network for what they did with Trump and then did to Colbert. Trump, like, replaced the Saddam Hussein character on that show where he's, like, in a bed with Satan. Fucking hilarious. I loved it.
So if Paramount either cancels South Park or even erases the episode or does anything with that, the two creators of South Park get $1.5 billion.
I just think it's funny because then you got Trump who goes and says, like, his response was like, South Park is an irrelevant show. No one gives a fuck about South Park, blah, 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 blah. I don't know, man. The deal that you just settled with this company to help them with their, like, Paramount seems to think they're worth $1.5 billion.
Yeah.
So, and look,
Insane,
I'm not shy of my criticism of Donald Trump. Criticism is not even the beginning to describe it. I don't care about being expressive about it on this podcast because I think freedom of speech is very important. And fuck Donald Trump. And if you support him, fuck you too. I don't care. And you know what? It's crazy because of things like this, and it's a long line in his battle with the media where he calls the media fake news and he turns people against him and tries to get people to attack journalism. Like, look, I get that there is bias in journalism. Fox News sure as hell has a lot of bias in journalism, and I'm not even saying that CNN doesn't. I'm not saying that NBC doesn't. I'm not saying that the left media doesn't have bias in it. But at the same time, to attack legacy media companies and claim these outrageous things and then have this kind of control over their balls where they're canceling institutional shows like Colbert, just wiped off the air entirely over an opinion, over truth. Like, it's concerning, it's problematic, it's honestly grounds for impeachment. Will that happen? No. But actually, it fucking already had twice in the last term. So anyway,
yeah, because they have the excuse of, like, there's no actual proof that that's why. We all know it's why, but there's no proof
sure.
of it.
Again, they're hiding behind. You're right. They're hiding behind. Oh, it's a purely financial decision. But
right, and they could get away with that excuse. You can't prove otherwise.
Let's also be honest. Part of the reason Paramount's able to do this merger in the first place was all the money they made over the years from the Late Show franchise. Like they seem to forget
Yeah, it's crazy.
the importance that show has had on that network over the years, and to just wipe it off the map is concerning. And to end off with your point, when you said it was going to die anyway, maybe, probably.
At
But
some point.
to happen in this regard, and with the government to be involved the way it has with its, or okay, and say what you want, to be to seemingly have a role, I'll word it that way, to seemingly have a part in this is concerning, and should be getting way more attention. It's been getting attention, but should get even more attention, in my opinion. You may not agree with Colbert's politics, and that's fine, but you should not be canceling any show just because of their opinion of the government.
Yeah, as Americans, freedom of speech. That's literally rule number one, guys. Freedom of press. Like, come on.
People seem to forget that, man. What can I say?
I know.
It's a different world we live in. But you know what? There's some good things going on television as well.
We carry on.
And that is that the Emmy nominations came out. And in fact, the Emmy nominations came out like a day after we recorded our last episode. Funny enough.
Yeah, so we're a little late.
We're a little late, but they come out. The Emmys are in September. And it's very exciting this year. I have quite a few thoughts. So we're not going to sit here and name every single Emmy nominee in every category, because that's going to take so much time, and you could just look it up on your own. But we're going to go category by category, just give both of our thoughts on the people in it, and people we thought should have been there, maybe people that we think are going to win. So we'll go category by category. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Absolutely. So, all right, scrolling down. So the first category is the best drama series. In this, I'm not going to read the following nominees, but there's how many of them? There's 8. And I'm pretty happy with this category, I would say. I love I love that Andor is getting the love still.
That's why I'm happy.
It was there last year.
Andor's in it.
I'm not surprised by really any of these. And I have more opinions about some of the acting categories. Yeah. I think Severance or The Pit is going to win.
I think White Lotus has a shot too.
It does.
I think it's going to be Severance, but I think White Lotus has a shot. I think the answer is Severance.
I think it's going to be Severance or The Pit. I think White Lotus has a shot, but I think and we're going to get to it when we get to the acting ones, but I think the White Lotus has, that's more just about sweeping up the acting categories than actually winning this one. I don't know if the Television Academy views it as the best show. I'm happy to see Andor get the love. I'm a little surprised The Last of Us is here. But like I said, Severance or The Pit is what I think. Comedy series? I'm
surprised The Bear, every time The Bear's in comedy series and not drama, I don't get it.
I agree. The Bear needs to be in the drama category. I think it's strayed far enough from comedy, and I think it deserves to be nominated. It still deserves to be in the Emmy conversation. But and I'm not going to say this every time we get to the comedies, but here in the overall, yes, The Bear should be there. This could go a couple different ways. The Bear, since it is here, could take it. I think it will. Well, I think I don't think this is. No, I don't know what the deadline cutoff was. So The Bear kind of is behind, where people were watching one season while it was getting the nominations for the other. I have no idea which season this is, either 3 or 4, but 4 just came out, so I'm not 100% sure if that was before or after.
Okay.
The cutoff.
Yeah.
But Hacks has been a beloved show. I'm watching it right now. That definitely, I think, is one of the favorites in this category. Also, The Studio. The Studio came away with some of the most... because Apple TV did very well. And The Studio is one of the top earning comedies, I think, or maybe the most nominated comedy on nomination day. So I think The Studio, which was a fantastic show, dude. Holy shit, it was hilarious.
I gotta get on it.
It was so meta and just well done. Seth Rogen, I gotta be honest with you, dude. This guy is really good at making shows.
He knows ball.
And I've seen people online criticize Seth Rogen, but Like his track record speaks for it. He's got Invincible. He's got The Boys that he produces. The
Yeah.
studio was great. He did Pam and Tommy on Hulu. A lot
He's
of fun.
goated.
He's great. So, all right, limited or anthology series. Love to see the Penguin here. Absolutely want it to win. It's going to have a tough time beating Adolescence, I think. I haven't seen it, but I know Adolescence is well loved, highly rated.
Yeah.
It's going to
And
be one of.
Monsters.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna win though. I
don't
think
think so?
no, it's gonna be Adolescence or the Penguin. I think, but I'm leaning towards Adolescence.
All right. All right.
Best television movie. I've only seen one of these, Mountainhead.
I saw Rebel Ridge.
I think that's gonna win.
It was good.
Maybe Bridget Jones because that's making the jump from actually being in the Oscar category because that was a made for streaming movie, which is why it's in this category. But
We could say right now it's not going to be The Gorge or Nona's.
no.
No.
Best reality competition program is
I don't know.
probably going to be RuPaul's Drag Race, just speaking on recent years at the Emmys. That's the furthest my knowledge goes on it. I haven't seen any of these shows. I'm not really big into reality television, but I'm going to say RuPaul's Drag Race. Best talk show. Now, listen.
We know.
It'd be cool for Colbert to win.
It's going to be.
I don't think so.
You don't think they're going to at least pity give it to him?
That news definitely came out after the nominations.
Yeah, but when do the nominees get picked, though?
I
Because he's already nominated, but what if they only pick like 2 months beforehand or something?
I don't know if they revote again. I guess that's true. It could be Here's the thing. I think if it could be The Daily Show because The Daily Show usually wins a lot of Emmys, and Jon Stewart is brilliant in his political commentary on that show, and definitely a little more entertaining than Colbert, if I'm going to be honest. Although, I'll give Colbert credit. Now that he's canceled for the next 10 months until the show's done, he's been balls to the wall. I don't know if you
He
saw
can
that
do whatever
thing.
the fuck he wants.
I don't know if you saw that thing with Lin-Manuel Miranda and Weird Al Yankovic. When they came on and they were singing Coldplay and they were going around the studio making fun of dude, you look it up, it's on YouTube, very funny. But anyway,
Right.
It'll be Daily Show or Colbert. Scripted variety series they're going to give to John Oliver. I wish it'd be SNL. Maybe they'll toss him the bone for their 50th, but usually John Oliver wins this every year.
Okay.
So now we get to the acting categories where there's a little more contention to be had.
I'm between two for this one. Best actor in a drama series. Noah Weil, or Adam Scott.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those two.
Right.
I mean, I haven't seen The Pit. I'm obviously rooting for Adam Scott. But it's going to be one of those two, for sure.
I do love Noah Weil.
I think Adam Scott, I don't know if Adam Scott's ever won an Emmy, but he is obviously more of a television actor than a film actor. Like Parks and Rec and everything, like his whole, career is based in television. Like he deserves his moment and his recognition. And I think this is that moment for Severance. And I'm going to say it. What the fuck? We've been talking about him all day and I love him. But what the fuck is Pedro Pascal doing in this category?
He was in 3 episodes.
Because he was in the end of that 4th episode. Remember right before that, the flashback episode? Like he's at the very
where they
end.
like repeat the same scene though, just from like a different perspective.
Well, when she like wakes up, and he's just like good morning, like the birthday at the end there. Yeah, that counts technically. So he just crossed the line of being eligible for Best Actor instead of Guest Actor. But I'm sorry, man. Diego Luna was robbed.
Holy shit! I
Diego
didn't realize
Luna
he's
was
not on
fucking robbed in this category. Should have been him instead of Pedro Pascal. That's all I gotta say.
There's no Andor actors
just
nominated.
Just one in the guest category.
Oh, I know who it's going to be.
Yeah.
All right.
It's bullshit. None of the main cast got nominated for that season. And they put some of the most incredible work that I think I've seen in a show. That was one of the biggest snubs of the day was Andor and the actors. Happy it got the best drama, but it's crazy it didn't get the actors. Best actress in a drama series, though, I think this is actually tough. It's going to either be, in my opinion, Britt Lauer of Severance or Kathy Bates of Matlock, because I can see them honoring her because she's going to retire after she's done with the show.
I don't know any of those, so.
Well, I mean, I've never seen Matlock, but I just know that Kathy Bates. You don't know who Kathy Bates is?
Nope.
Bro, what the fuck? She's in Titanic. She's in Misery.
Never seen either of those.
Dog. All right, and you have a movie podcast. Crazy. All right, but I think Britt Lauer's probably going to win. I don't think Kerry Russell's going to win, but I don't know. I have a weird hunch for some reason. I've seen The Diplomat. It's good. It's not as good. Anyway, Best Supporting Actor in a Drama Series. This is pretty much just piled with Severance and The White Lotus, and then that one James Marsden nomination in there for Paradise. So it's kind of heads or tails. If they don't give it to Tremel Tillman for Severance, it's wrong. I'm
What
just
about
saying.
Walton Goggins?
Walton Goggins is great in The White Lotus, but it's got to be Tremel Tillman. It's got to be Tremel Tillman. I think, first of all, The White Lotus has way too many nominations in the acting categories all around, this one included. I don't think Jason Isaacs should be in there. Sam Rockwell, I think, delivers a great monologue. Should be in the guest act category. He also just barely crossed that line, I guess.
He's like barely in it, right?
I know, it's ridiculous. But Tremel Tillman, I think, should be the winner. Best actor in a limited anthology series or movie. This has to go to Colin Farrell. And he deserves it. He is so good in The Penguin. I'm surprised. Again, I haven't seen Adolescence, but from what I heard from people who have seen it, and just based on my knowledge of the show, I'm surprised that Stephen Graham is nominated in Best Actor, and the kid in that show is nominated in Supporting Actor. Because
I don't know, I've never seen it. I don't know the screen times, you know?
I don't know them totally. I hear it's like kind of I hear it's 4 episodes and no character appears in all 4. But I just thought it like centered around the events of the kid and what he does in that show that I only very vaguely know. So I'm just a little surprised by that decision by the Television Academy, I guess. But anyway, I think Colin Farrell deserves it. Stephen Graham can maybe take it. I've also seen Presumed Innocent, Jake Gyllenhaal. I was pleasantly surprised to see him get nominated. I didn't think that show was going to get any nominations. It's not going to win, but it was that continued trend of Apple TV having a big day for the Emmys and having a big year. But yeah, it should be Colin Farrell. You didn't see The Penguin still. I forgot about that.
I have like 3 episodes left.
Oh, you're in the middle of it.
Yeah, I've been in the middle of it for months.
Dude, how have you not finished it?
I forgot about it.
It's so good.
I know. It was good.
Best Supporting Actress in a Drama Series. This one, I don't really know. This one's going to go to a White Lotus person. Obviously, I love Patricia Arquette in Severance, but I don't think they're going to reward her in this category. I could see it going to any of Carrie Coon, Parker Posey, or Natasha Rothwell, personally. Take your pick. I mean, I know Amy Lou Wood's there too, but I don't think she's going to win in this category this year. Oh shit, there is that woman from The Pit. Actually, shit, maybe they'll give it to her now that I think about it.
I never saw any of these shows, so I don't know.
Yeah, but just I haven't seen all of them. I haven't seen The Pit, but I know that that's going to do very well based on
people
the
like
way
that
people
show.
talked about it and are going to probably vote. I haven't seen it either. But yeah, I think maybe she'll win. Best Guest Actor in a Drama Series. This is where we see our one Andor nominee in Forrest Whitaker.
And I've seen these shows, not all of them, but I've seen these.
Yeah,
shows.
Giancarlo Esposito for The Boys. That's cool. I don't think he's not going to win.
I don't. And Jeffrey Wright is not going to win.
Probably not. I think Scott Glenn in The White Lotus is going to take it, or the guy from The Pit.
Who even is Joe Pantoliano in Last of Us? Is he Jesse?
I think he's Jesse.
Because I'm trying to think of like.
I'm gonna look him up. I don't know who he is. I apologize to him if he ever comes across our podcast.
Yeah, he could be a guest on the podcast.
Wait, who was he in it?
You don't see it? Did you look him up and you can't recognize him?
But he's not Jesse.
Pantoliano.
Eugene. Oh, he's Eugene. Oh, he's the guy. He's the guy. Yeah,
he kills.
Actually, it's a guest actor category. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
He's the guy that he kills.
It wouldn't be. I don't even know why we were saying Jesse. It wouldn't make sense for it to be Jesse.
No, the only character I could think of that I didn't know the actor's name.
And I was just going along with it. I was like, I guess you must be fucking right.
Yeah, thanks.
Best guest actress in a drama series. Gwendolyn Christie. Do you remember her? She's in Game of Thrones. Dude, she's really cool. Oh yeah. Dude, she's so great in Severance. It would be so sick to see her win.
Catherine O'Hara.
For Catherine O'Hara is double nominated this year. for
And
two
she's
different
really
shows.
good in The Last of Us.
It could be interesting. Catherine O'Hara could walk away with 2 Emmys for 2 different shows,
That'd
and
be cool.
both of them in acting categories. And we'll get to the next one in a moment. But yeah, I'm gonna say I'm just gonna say Gwendolyn Christie because I want it.
Yeah.
Best actress in a comedy series. This is an interesting category. I do think
Io.
it's no. I don't think it's going to be Io. I think it's going to be Jean Smart for Hacks. In fact, this is a great category because also Quinta Brunson, who has all of those 3 have gotten their due. I think Jean Smart for Hacks has the most momentum these days.
I just love Io.
Io's great. I mean, personally, right now would probably be my pick, but it depends. I mean, what season we're talking about too. But Jean Smart is also doing some incredible work in Hacks, and I highly recommend that show to everyone listening, including you, Jack. Here's one other thing I want to say in this category: Kristen Bell has been a large television actress, and she was in The Good Place. She's been around a long time. Her first Emmy nomination. She could maybe. I haven't seen this show. Nobody Wants This. I could see her getting her due this year though, because Quinta, Io, and Jean have all gotten their due already. So I could see them giving it to Kristen Bell this year too, maybe.
Maybe.
So, but that's a great category. Best actor in a comedy series. This is another great category. I'm going to actually start with this. Should be Steve Martin over Martin Short this year in Only Murders because the emotional center of that it's a comedy. It's not like The Bear where it fakes it. It is a comedy, but there's still the emotional like drives for the characters. And that is Steve Martin's character in this season. I love that show. I watch it.
Martin Short's like the funny guy, right?
Well, they're both the funny guy.
Oh, I saw the first like 4 episodes and I stopped watching it, just like The Penguin.
Dude, I love the show, and it's got like 4 or 5 whatever seasons it's on. I think 4. I think the 5th one is what's coming out. I
My
love it,
attention
dude.
span is not long enough for TV these days.
I mean, it's almost better than movies in the sense where for movies I'm almost like planning like, all right, this is what I'm watching, like this is coming out. TV, I'm just like, what am I in the mood? That's what it comes down to. Like, what are people talking about? In this category, the only one I hadn't seen is Nobody Wants This. Man, I think I could see Seth Rogen winning for the studio. I mean,
cool.
Either him, Jeremy Allen White, hey, even Jason Segel. Shrinking is a great show. Shrinking is another one. Apple TV, what a day for them. Best Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series. And this is where I can continue talking about Shrinking because Harrison Ford gets his first Emmy nomination at what, like 82 years old, 83, however old he is?
Yeah.
I mean,
He's up
that's such a cool thing because he's never really done television. He has obviously been movies his whole career: Star Wars, Blade Runner, Indiana Jones. So
yeah, that's cool, but I'm not even looking at Harrison Ford when I'm looking at this because I see Bowen Yang.
Mm-hmm.
That's so interesting to me.
It's not the first SNL nomination for an acting role. He's not going to win. It'd be
He
cool.
is great, but it's
Bowen
so...
Yang, I mean, Bowen Yang is one of the stars of this era of the show, for sure.
Yeah.
But SNL just doesn't really win Emmys anymore like that. Not in these main categories. I would love to see Harrison Ford win, personally. However, or Bowen Yang. That would be cool too. However, I think Eben Moss-Backrack is going to take it again for The Bear. I do think that they just love him in that show. And he is, so as great as he is in Fantastic Four, his best stuff is in The Bear. He's also in Andor, if you remember.
I do, and he was in The Punisher.
Oh, yeah, he is in The Punisher.
That's the first time I've ever seen him was The Punisher.
Yeah. So, Best Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series. This is another fun category. Obviously, I think Hannah Einbinder for Hacks was one of the most recent winners. I love a lot of these shows. Liza Colon-Zayas should win for The Bear. I hope she wins. I fucking love her in that show. She's going to be in Spider-Man Brand New Day, by the way. That keeps you in the conversation, but I love her. She should win. Katherine Hahn is great in the studio. I mean, I would love to see the studio have a very successful day. And I love Abbott Elementary, too. It's one of my favorites this year. Obviously, the crossover with Always Sunny was great. I don't know if you saw that, at least.
I saw the Always Sunny episode.
Did you?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Dude, yeah, it's so good. But I love that show. And then another Shrinking nomination. Very deserved. Best Guest Actor in a Comedy Series is very funny to me because it's all the studio except for John Bernthal.
Wait, where the fuck? I lost my shit.
Oh, you Best
Best
Guest
guest actor
in a Comedy Series.
Oh yeah, holy shit.
It's all the studio except for John Bernthal. And I think the big highlight here is Martin Scorsese's first Emmy nomination in an acting capacity. Probably his first acting nomination of any.
He gotta win, dude.
You gotta give it to him. He's also so good in that. Like, look, I love John Bernthal and The Bear, and I gotta say, all these gentlemen, Cranston, Dave Franco, Ron Howard, Anthony Mackie, are so good in the show. The studio is truly one of the most innovative shows on television in a long time. But you gotta give it to our man Martin Scorsese. You just gotta
it's
give
just
that.
cool. It's just cool.
You remember last year when we all wanted Demi Moore because the moment would have just been so cool, even though it's like obviously how great was Mikey Madison and Honora. It's kind of like that where Martin, you got to give us the moment. We need that speech. Best guest actress in a comedy series. You got a few for The Bear. So this is actually proof that it's season 3 for The Bear because Olivia Colman does not appear in season 4.
Oh, okay. So
this is
that
for
might
season
affect
3.
some
So that
Bear
might
stuff.
affect some Bear stuff. Jamie Lee Curtis could maybe take it. Also, Zoe Kravitz is really good in the studio. So I'm hoping it's one of those. I've seen all these shows. The Bear, Poker Face, Hacks in the Studio, all great comedies. Holy shit. Some really good television these days. Best Actress in a Limited or Anthology Series or a Movie. The only one I've seen here is The Penguin. Kristen
was so good.
Milioti. And I hope she wins because
Me too.
she also has a background in television with How I Met Your Mother. She's been around. She's fantastic. She's almost one of the best parts of that show. And real intimidating. She shall win. Best Supporting Actor in a Limited Anthology Series or Movie. I've seen Presumed Innocent, and that's it. However, no shot. It's not going to anybody here besides Owen Cooper, who's the kid in Adolescence. He's taking it home without a doubt.
Okay. Yeah,
he's gotten
I can see that.
raving reviews for his performance. I haven't seen it, but I've heard enough of the raving reviews to know he's taking this category. And the last one for you, Best Supporting Actress in a Limited Anthology Series or Movie. Again, I've seen Presumed Innocent. I've seen The Penguin. I'm surprised that Ruth Negga was... dude, I know.
What
No.
did you just...
Look at her last name. I know.
I didn't even see it.
I know.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
Negga.
Okay, for those of you who are only listening and heard that.
Ruth Negga. She's an actress. She's been around. People know her.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying you said anything.
I didn't
I didn't know
say
that was her name.
I didn't say the other thing.
I know you didn't, but it sounded like you did before I realized that's her name.
Ruth. I don't even want to say it again. Now I feel awkward about it.
Don't say it. But
I'm surprised that she was nominated for Presumed Innocent. She's good in it, but I was surprised. I would like to see Deidre O'Connell win for The Penguin. That would be really cool. I didn't say it. All right, I didn't. That's her name. Jeez, I'm never gonna get a job again. Holy shit!
We're getting kicked off.
I'm
We're
gonna get fired.
We're getting booted from Spotify after this.
Oh my god, that's her, dude. Yeah, we're actually gonna like shadow ban for that one. That's her name. Holy shit! Don't take it up with me. Take it up with Ruth. Okay,
Come on, Ruth.
She's allowed to have a life. I might have changed my name if I were her.
I would, especially famous. Like, come
You
on.
ever
People are
see
even saying
that guy not related to movies and television in the slightest bit, but he's a linebacker
Yeah.
for Michigan State.
I've seen him.
His name is Noah K. N-word.
Yeah. No, I've heard all about Noah.
And he's a white guy, just on top of that.
He's like the whitest guy.
He's the whitest guy on that team.
And that's so unfortunate.
That's
like,
his last name.
Just change your last. How?
Dude, I
come
saw a
your
video when
ancestors-
he like walked into the locker room and they're like, "Hey!" Like everyone loved him, but I'm just like, dude, I would change my name, man. Like, come on.
How did your parents or grandparents not change their last name?
How are you a teacher in school reading like the list of students' names?
Pause.
I would get to it. I'd be like, Noah.
Anyone named Noah here?
Noah. What if there was more than one Noah in the class?
Like
Noah K. Noah K. Yeah.
No, that's like concerning for like his school years. You know,
Dude,
I feel like
I
he'd get
wouldn't-
bullied so hard.
How do you have a dating life? Because Like,
I would never want to marry into that last
you're
name.
not gonna want to marry into that last name. Can you imagine
No,
going
it's-
down to like City Hall to change your last name to like do the paperwork part of it, and then they're like, "All right, what are you changing it to?" And then you
It's
say
like a
it.
different slur.
What if the clerk is black too?
Oh, I think
Just
if
like-
you're changing their last name.
No, like to that one.
Oh
Like
yeah,
if
no,
you're
that's like,
if you're the wife and you're like going down to change your name, and they're like, "All right, so what are you changing it to? You're getting married," and it's like, "Oh yeah, here it is." They just look
They
at
just-
you,
yeah, they look at you like, dude,
dude.
come on.
Nah, you're not doing
I
this.
ain't doing. I'm not signing this.
Dude, that's crazy.
It's wild.
That's crazy shit. Well, you know what else is crazy? Seesaw. Seesaw's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So that was all our us taking a look at all the Emmy nominations for the acting and for the shows. We're not going to go into all the writing and directing and all that shit, but it's important stuff. But we don't have time for that.
Yeah, I mean, well, those are pretty much the mainline ones. Those are what I would call the above line ones. Yeah, there is obviously like directing and writing and all that, but like you said, we don't have time for all that. It does matter, and it is congrats to everyone who's nominated. And when it gets close to the show, we're going to talk about the results and everything and all that. I mean, I've seen a lot of these. I know you haven't. I have.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited to see which ones. I've seen Hacks, I've seen The Bear, I've seen Andor, I've seen The Last of Us, I've seen Severance, I've seen, you know what I mean? Like, the only big ones I haven't seen are like The Pit and like Nobody Wants This and like a couple of those like smaller ones. So I'm very excited. I've seen Abbott, like this is going to be a fun and interesting Emmy season. Justice for the Andor cast still, but
Yeah. For real. No Adria Arjona. You kidding me?
yeah, what the fuck? And she's actually like great.
And that second episode, where that crazy shit's happening to her, like, come on.
Or what's the actress who plays like Luthen's Clea's actress?
Yeah, I don't know the actress's name, but she was fantastic.
I'm looking her up because she
And no
deserves
Stellan
this.
Skarsgård. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, Clea is played by Elizabeth Delau. That's her first acting role. Like that
Yeah,
was
she
her
was so
first
good.
acting role. She's so good, and she
was a
doesn't get the
standout.
nomination. She is a standout in season 2. Justice for them. So.
You want to start with Seesaw? Because I started with Fantastic Four.
Sure. So something that I saw recently, and I talked about wanting to always see it, one of the most classic movies of all time that I'd never watched, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I'm watching through the Sergio Leone spaghetti westerns, and this movie is fucking badass, dude. You got to watch this. Like, there is a reason why this is considered one of the greatest films of all time, one of the most influential films of all time. Truly, probably is the best western ever made. This is Clint Eastwood, Sergio Leone, and Ennio Morricone. So the star, the director, and the composer. The three of them at their height. You know the music from this. If someone played it like right now, you would say, "I've heard it." You may not know it's The Good,
really?
the Bad, and the Ugly, but you'd
right.
be like, "I've heard this."
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, trust me.
Yeah.
Like, literally, like at some point when you have time, literally just look up "Good, Bad, and Ugly" theme. Just play it for like a minute. And you'd be like, "I've heard that before." Like, that's iconic. This movie, like the way that all three of them are able to create this really interesting and just recognizable classic, like it just blew me away even 60 years later. And I do think that if you like movies, this is one that everyone needs to see in their life. If you like movies, you got to see this one. It's a must watch. And something I want to see, I'm cheating a bit, and I have wasn't really any one that I was so passionate about, so I did a double feature of things I want to see. The first one is a docu-series that just released on HBO Max called Billy Joel and So It Goes. It just looks like it's about his life and his music. I love Billy Joel, and I really want to watch that. The second is a new series coming out in November from Vince Gilligan, the creator of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, called Pluribus. We just got a teaser. It stars Ray Seahorn, who plays Kim Wexler in Better Call Saul, and it's about a very unhappy person on a mission to save the world from happiness. That's all we really know. It's coming out on Apple TV, who, based on the Emmy nominations that we talked about today, with Severance, Shrinking, The Studio, Presumed Innocent, they're doing well.
They have a good track record.
They had Ted Lasso before that, which everyone loves Ted Lasso. So
Yeah.
I feel really good between Gilligan's track record and Apple TV that's going to be really exciting.
That's cool. I actually never saw that teaser trailer, so I'm probably gonna watch that.
It's not really much of anything. It's literally like a tiny teaser, but it still got me excited.
Something I saw. This is so stupid. Something I saw was Heads of State, which is a new John Cena Idris Elba movie.
It's on Amazon Prime.
It was on Amazon Prime Video. It was short enough where I was like, fuck it, I'll watch it. It took me 2 days to watch because I like, paused halfway, forgot about it, went back the next day. It was fun. It was stupid. John Cena as the president, hilarious. Idris Elba actually believable as the British Prime Minister. Their dynamic is great. It's Peacemaker and Bloodsport back again. They had a really great dynamic together, and I had a good time watching it. It wasn't the greatest movie in the world. I gave it like a 7 out of 10. I had fun. And speaking of John Cena, something I really want to see, even though we can't see John Cena, is Peacemaker Season 2. Peacemaker Season 2 comes out in August. The trailer came out recently. The full trailer looks fucking awesome. The cast is back. The Rick Flag Sr. is coming back to hunt down Peacemaker. Looks like a bunch of shit's happening. Interdimensional travel because they're coming from the DCEU to the DCU. Crazy shit. I don't know. I love James Gunn. Have all my faith in James Gunn. And John Cena is a class act. And I just want to see everything he's in.
Did you see that Frank Grillo was originally like, I don't want to be a part of the dancing sequence for the opening title because I'm a serious actor, but then they convinced him to do it, I guess.
Really?
Yeah.
They released the song. I forgot what it was, but
I haven't heard it, but I'm not even gonna. I just want to experience it for the first time.
Yeah, I think
when
that's
I watch
best, 'cause
it.
I heard it and I wish I waited.
I didn't even know they did that, so I'm gonna wait until it just comes out. I'm so excited for that show, dude.
James Gunn had the band come out and play it live for the audience.
That's cool, but like unless I was there to experience that, I'd rather just
Right.
experience it for the first time when I see the show.
Yeah, that's still the best intro to any show I've ever seen in my life, I think.
It's got to be up there for me too. I fucking love it.
Peacemaker Season 1. And Season 2 might be better. I can't imagine it would be, the intro.
They
but
said it
maybe
was
will
going to be different. That's the word he used to describe it. So I want to
Yeah.
know what that means.
Yeah. So
He's like,
I'm
we're not
excited
trying
for
to
that.
one up. He's like, we're not. I think James Gunn was like, we're not trying to one up the first one. I was like, isn't that exactly what you're trying to do, though? Technically,
Is that kind of the point? Is to do better?
yeah. I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway, whatever. That's weird.
That's the end of the episode. So
That time.
Thank you guys for listening. We thought this was gonna be a shorter episode. It's not, but thank you guys for listening. Make sure to check us out on Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, TikTok at Box Office Dynasty. Make sure to comment random numbers for our film Bible. We're watching our movie this week. We're gonna review it next week. It's called M. And any other closing messages?
That's it. That's all. Like, yeah, keep commenting the numbers. Follow and like on all the platforms and share with your fellow friends and film lovers. And we're happy to be back. There's more exciting stuff coming out soon in the next few weeks. Even though we're past some of these big blockbusters, we still got more to go. And I'm
We love
looking
you
forward
guys.
to it.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, so, you know what? Mwah. Little kissies
Aw.
for you to get through the rest of your week.
So many people just grab that, put it right on their penises.
Keep. Oh, I was gonna say your pocket, but all right, shit. All right, well, you know
How
what?
many balls did you get last week?
I'm not gonna comment on that, but
I told
you
the
know,
audience to send pictures of their balls to Josh, and he got
No,
quite a few.
This time, you're gonna send them to Jack. Last week, I was the ball
chill, because I
recipient.
know I'm gonna get one. Chill.
This week, the Box Office Dynasty is commanding you to send a ball picture to Jack.
If you fucking send me a ball picture, I'm blocking your number. Peace.